And here we go. Hello, everyone. This is Norm here from Tested. Welcome to another Saturday evening Pacific time, West Coast live stream. Just hang out on a Saturday night. And today I'll be unboxing and assembling this new Hot Toys Iron Man Mark V suit up version figure that just came in. So a little bit of housekeeping before we get started. This should last about an hour or so. This live stream, as our other live streams, are made possible by our Tested channel members, so our Tested patrons, premium members, and supporters on YouTube. Thank you so much. Of course, subscribers as well that make all of our content possible. But this is a members only chat. If you want to join in, hang out, send questions, you can join up, and I'll be watching the chat as we go along. Before we get started, we have new merch. So I'm wearing a new t-shirt that's on the Tested store. You go to tested-store.com. This one was designed by great artist Bannister, who's also a Tested fan. We met him last year at Comic-Con. He's been sending great artwork, and we've now collaborated with him for new Tested merch. So I'm wearing that for the first time on this live stream as well. So I want to give a couple of shout outs for people already in the chat who jumped in early. A new member, Phil Donahue, welcome to the channel. Fire Arrow 31 as well. Mediocre Modeler. Sorry you missed last week's live stream. Glad you're here this week. And Chris is Route 9 Signs in the chat as well. Hi, Ellie Green and Chem Geek Tim. Hello, everyone. Hope everyone's having a good evening, good weekend, whether you're in the States here, overseas. I know we have a few members watching from the UK and abroad in the future. Hope you're having a nice Sunday as well. So we're gonna get right into it. This should be fun. I have a second camera that's gonna give us some close-ups. I'm gonna put this together, chat about whatever you want. We don't do the podcast anymore, so this is a great opportunity. If you have questions about things we've had on the channel over the past couple weeks, recent videos, things you've been watching, we're just gonna hang out. We can talk about Star Trek Picard. That's already through episode 2. I have not yet seen the new Marvel movie Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, so please no spoilers for that in the chat as well. And welcome a couple new members already, Luck Dragon and Cameron Bond. Thanks for joining. But we're gonna dive right in, so we gotta get started. So this is the Hot Toys 1/6 scale Mark V figure from the movie Iron Man 2. It's the suitcase armor, right? So you remember Iron Man 2? He's in Monte Carlo. He's racing his F1 car. Whiplash comes in, smashes the racetrack, smashes his F1, and Tony Stark has to get in armor. So Jon Favreau, Happy Hogan, tosses him the classic suitcase armor that you see in the comics, and they translated that into the screen. And so he suits up in that suitcase armor, and that's what this is. So there is I think, an already existing Mark V armor that Hot Toys put out, a die-cast version, but this is the suit-up version, which is why this box is so big. Has Tony Stark plus the armor. We're going to get to the close-up real quick. So let me give you a little picture-in-picture. So here's the box. Pretty big box. Nice textured material. You can kind of see that reflection. It's matte finish right here. And we're going to pop off this sleeve. And you can see it doesn't have like a flip-out reveal, but you can already see the clamshell packaging of Tony Stark on the inside with the armor pieces. This is the deluxe version, which in the Hot Toys universe, this is MMS, so Mover Masterpiece series. This is their 600 figure that they put out. They've announced many more since, but when this was announced, it's the 600 figure. So they always like to do something special for their MMS 500. They did the die-cast Iron Man Mark 7, which I have. That was incredible figure from Avengers. And for the MMS 600, they did this suit-up version. So this is the deluxe version that also has the suitcase. And one of the reasons I want to do this as a live stream is because a lot of people had questions. I certainly had questions about how the pieces come together, different poses, and there are quite a few different ways you can have this displayed. So we're going to go cut open this. Have not done any pre-box opening of this yet, so we are jumping into this fresh, very shiny. We're gonna get. I know there's a little bit of glare, but hopefully that will go away once we get this out of the box. Ooh. All right. So we're gonna save the box. I save all my boxes. Oh, I used to save both the boxes and the cardboard shipper it comes in. A lot of people, if they like, if they want to maybe resell figures later on, trade up, move their collection around, people who buy them on eBay after the fact, like them having in the brown shipper box. I used to save the brown shippers. They took up too much space, and now I just keep the boxes. Although, I mean, it's mostly for storing accessories, and I find myself it's also taking a lot of space. So we're going to pop open the clamshell. We are going to keep all the packaging. Don't worry. I'm not going to go crazy and toss all this. All right, let's open this up. Woo! All right, so nothing in this clamshell. You have a little bit of protective plastic right there. Let's set this off gently to the side. All right, so not a lot of glare here. I have a light here. Okay, you can see what's going on. So you can see already, let me move this a little further back. Let me zoom out just a little bit. My second camera. So what do you got here? You got Tony Stark, Iron Man in his racing suit. You got the pieces of the Mark V armor right here, from the feet to the knees, or the shins, thighs, main chest piece, his helmet right there, a couple different hands, and because this is the deluxe version, you have the pieces. You have his gloves and a couple pieces of the briefcase, some batteries as well that you can plug in, because the whole thing does light up. These as repulsor gloves, and the chest armor does light up. Okay, so what we're going to do is take everything out and kind of knoll it out on the table so we can look at the individual pieces. I'm going to start off with the suitcase armor pieces. So I'm going to take all of that out one at a time. Let's see. Normally, figures have a lot of different accessories. Like if you're buying Captain America figures, have like the Endgame one. He had the Mjolnir. He has a broken shield, different heads, and so that's why you end up needing to store a lot of those pieces and in the packaging or elsewhere. But here, everything kind of goes on the body, and I think the only like the extra pieces you'll have will be the ones that determine what configuration you want this to be in. Because the cool thing is, and you'll soon see, it's not just him with the armor on, but it's like there are many phases to how he suits up the armor. He can put his hands in the briefcase, hands up to the chest, with armor mid unfolding out, deployed, and then the full, almost full deployment. You know what? Tim Simpson has a great idea. Move the picture in picture. I can do that. We have the technology. There's an empty space right there, right here. So we're gonna move our picture in picture. Give me 1 second. That's a great idea. Look at that. We're doing it live. Thank you, Tim Simpson. Fantastic idea. Awesome. All right. So we're gonna get we'll take Tony R out last. These are all fairly delicate pieces. This is not a die cast figure, so these are plastic parts. But the paint finish does make them look very metallic. To the eye here. Ooh, all right. Get the boots. Oh, I see more pieces underneath as well. So we're gonna go take Tony out now. And he is protected right here. We'll keep this on for now. And there's a stand. So I don't personally like using the stands, but for the purposes of this video, we will bring the stand out so people can see what that looks like. All right, so second clamshell is done. The stand, let's see, it's right here. Oh, interesting. So this is the stand. And the form of the stand is in this undercarriage grabber right there. It's not a dynamic flight stand, but I have a couple extra one of those if I want to have him pose in a kind of a landing, mid-flight. Here are the instructions, which will pop open, but I also have them as a PDF. Pro tip for people just getting collecting: if you don't want to pop open the instructions, Sideshow always has a PDF copy you can download of the instructions for all their figures. So very useful to have. I find that sometimes much easier to go through and reference than the folded up piece of paper. All right, last bit of clamshell. You know what? We'll see how we can do this in an elegant way. Yes, we are using the Blackmagic Design ATEM. This is the ATEM Mini Pro ISO. I've been using this for our live streams at the cave, using this for some video production, even at home here, mixing the tape. Easier than doing an edit afterward. It's a good piece of software, or a good piece of hardware with some decent software. All right. Oh, this is a little bit hard to remove, but there it goes. All right, so that's going to fall over. I'm not too worried about that. Some extra pieces I will now null out here. Chest armor. Some looks like wrist pieces here. Okay, so it's left and right. And then his hands. Gosh, I don't even know. I can't even recognize what some of these pieces are. That looks like the back piece. Whoa, okay. Some extra pieces here. This is the mirror. Some of these are mirrored pieces. I think that's got to be up there. Okay, so that's it for the bottom piece. All right. All the clamshell packaging removed. And let's take a look at what we got. All right. So here's Tony Stark. We're going to remove some of this plastic. Black background. Nah, this is kind of a piece of foam protective backing. And he has plastic around his hands, his waist, some foam underneath his armpits there, and around his shoes as well. This is like part of that always stresses me out. I understand why they include this, but it's always tied together with a piece of tape. And every time I try to remove the piece, by hand, undo the tape by hand, it never works. And so I end up having to use an X-Acto blade or scissors. I always am afraid of damaging the figure when I do that. So we're going to do that live and see how it goes. Is this tape as well? It is tape as well. All right. It's a little stretchy. Okay, this one is easy to pull off. That's nice. Let's see, how about now? Oh, no, his hand got stuck in there. All right, well, that's easy to cut out. I can at least do that without damaging the fabric. Not standard pegs for the hands, because these are lights inside, so LED lights in here, and I believe if I roll up the sleeve, there'll be a battery compartment. So it's not the standard peg, it's a little wider for the hands, if anyone's thinking of using third-party hands or a different figure's hands to do a swap out. Okay, so that's plastic. We'll leave the hands in here. They always look a little weird when they don't have their hands or feet. And then, okay, easy to remove both those. No scissors needed. That's great. Although there's additional plastic between the boots and the pant leg. That is a ball joint. That is another ball joint. Okay, let's get these shoes back in here and we'll take a look. Pop. and satisfying pop. There it goes. Very nice. Do I need the scissors? I don't think I need the scissors anymore. All right, so here's, and then there is some protective plastic between the neck and the head sculpt. So we're gonna pop the head sculpt off and remove that as well. Sometimes on some figures, this plastic goes like beneath the clothing. It's really tough to pull out, but this one's very easy just to remove, just wrap around that neck right there. And we'll pop his head back on. So we have two ball joint articulated neck right there. Cal Braun asks, it looks like a new space. Is this at the tested offices? No, I'm at home. It's Saturday night. I'm not going to be heading in to the tested office, unfortunately, on Saturday night. This is my wife's office. Danica, my wife, his is her working space, and she very graciously lets me use it sometimes to film videos and do live streams. So thank you, Danica. Okay, here's a look at all the pieces. I'm just going to continue removing any bits of plastic that I see. So you can see a bunch of pieces, which is why there's going to be some assembly required. You have boots right here. You have shin pieces right here. Thigh pieces. A full chest piece, front chest piece. Does this articulate? It does not. This kind of ab piece doesn't articulate, so it's a solid. You can see it's a solid cast piece in the back, and then you have like forearms. You have here are his gloves, which do have articulating fingers, and you can see that it's a clear piece of plastic. We're here where the repulsor blast is because the light is actually in his wrist. This looks like a back piece with the classic Iron Man hips. And then here is his helmet, but not completely form fitted. I believe these pieces separate and are going to wrap around the head sculpt. A couple different hand options. So you got the kind of open, arms out at the ready, thumbs out, relax, kind of tense fingers, I think. Tense fingers right there. You have gripping hands. So open space right here. I believe that's to hold the briefcase. And then fists, closed fists as well. And then you have pieces of the briefcase and more chest pieces here. So let's take a look at, first of all, Tony Stark by himself and the head sculpt that we got. So let's get as close as possible. Even closer. Closer. Yeah, woo! Look at that. And let's get him in focus. There it goes. All right. So here's your Robert Downey Jr. head sculpt. Let's see. There it goes. I have it mirrored. So is he in focus right there? He's in focus right there. All right. So pretty good head sculpt. Kind of like a little shaggier hair. He has some shiny blood right there that's actually sculpted in that wound. Painted blood dripping down his cheek. So he's suffering the whip attack from whiplash. And good detail all the way around. Of course, great paint finish. Shiny eyes, not rolling eyeballs, fixed eyeballs, and he's looking pretty much straightforward. One of the things I've noticed that they've been doing lately is kind of stacking or having multi pieces for the hair sculpts. And so some figures you can see the mold line. You know, this is injection molded plastic, but there still has to be a mold line when they separate it from the injection mold. And usually it's like right down the center right here. But because this looks like layered hair pieces, he has a little bit of a cowlick right there. There you can't see that mold line. There's no clear mold line. There's like nice dimensionality, sculpted dimensionality to the hairpiece, which is really nice. That's cool. Yeah, that's a really nice sculpt. There it goes. Robert Downey Jr. Right into your soul, right there. Cool. We'll take a look at. We'll zoom a little bit out now. Take a look at the suit. Says Stark. God, this movie came out. When did Iron Man 2 come out? It was 2010, 2011, 2010. It was like over 10 years ago now, right? Iron Man 2. I remember seeing a lot of people doing this Tony Stark cosplay at conventions, and it was always really cool to see that suit, the racing suit, in cosplay form. This is less shiny than I imagined it would be. It has a little bit of a rubbery feel, so it has some stretch. Doesn't feel like leather. There's dimensionality right here where it says Stark, number 11. So that's cast in. And it's a jacket that this is a non-working zipper. You get some skin texture here for the neck, and all the way down to the boots. This flares out quite a bit. Wow, yeah, I guess that's just costume design. And his racing shoes. Right there. All right. Nice and dirty on the bottom already. So you got some, articulation. Pretty good. See how far I can get this stretched out. Yeah, it doesn't. It's because of the way the shoulder bunches up. It wants. You can hold it pretty far. It's not bad. Not bad. All right. Okay. All right. So that's a figure kind of into itself, but he's not suited up yet. So let's see. Now have him stand right here. You know what? Let's use the stand for now. The stand, interesting, has two backing plates. There's one that says Stark, like the Stark Expo logo, and then this is kind of detailed to look like the damaged racetrack. So we'll use that one. I guess that just sits on top of here. Yeah, there's no way to clip it in, but we'll plug in this guy. Yep, plugs that in. That gets pulled up, and we will put Tony Stark right up here for now. Yeah. All right. All right. Let's take a look at the instructions, because there are a couple things I want to be able to show off and try out. All right. Woo. Double-sided instructions. Tony Stark Mark V suit-up version, 1/6 scale collectible figure. Different ways to attach the armor. Like I said, if you want to follow along, you can actually go to Sideshow's website, and you know what I'll do? I will, in the chat, paste the link to the instructions, because I actually have those at the ready. And so this is a PDF link if you want to follow along. And we're going to look at the suitcase first, because that's, I think, stage one of our assembly here. So we'll go back to our close-up cam. Oh, it didn't save did it save that position? It did not save my, or did it? No. Am I in the correct, did it reset? No, this is the correct position. This is where I want the PIP to be. Okay. We'll take a look at the suitcase armor. So this is the suitcase. Sure, let's see. Get in clear view. This is a good assembly area right here. Yeah, right here. It's pretty good. And we get in focus. There we go. All right. And so this is the main briefcase. It's a lot of different articulating components. So if I fold this out and fold it up, I think I can get this like looking like an actual suitcase. Let's see. Let's see. Ooh. Maybe. Maybe not. All right, let's take a look at what the instructions say. Suitcase transformation. There are a couple different phases. Let's do the most elaborate one because I think that's transfers. Yeah, there's transformation 1 and transformation 2. Yeah, let's do this. We're already 20 minutes in. Let's do the secondary transformation. So I'm gonna fold this out like that. We're gonna fold the center piece in like this. Okay, cool. And then these pieces also bend in. All right. And now there's um, an extra piece. So this looks, wow, look at that. That looks so complicated sculpturally. But this is, the armor as it would have been deployed. So we're gonna plug. Let's see. Is there a plate that needs to go? There is a plate. So I think we plug this plate. Nope, not this one. This plate. Aha. We're gonna plug this plate into here. Wow, very delicate. Press fit. Doesn't need to click, just press fits in. There it goes. I can feel a little bit of resistance. That's good. And this then needs other pieces. Okay, so I'm gonna slide this a little further back. We're taking a look at this mid transformation piece. Tilt it around so you can see a little bit of it. Yeah, get you a little bit more in focus. There you go. There you go. And I'm going to plug in 2 gauntlet pieces. Oh wow. Okay. They're these look like fists, so they look like Iron Man's hands, but without the fingers, because these plug right into the top of this piece. And I have to be careful about which side is the right and the left side. So I think, oh my gosh, very carefully looking at the instructions. I think that's, oh, don't mess this up. Let's see. Here. We're going to take a gamble. We're going to say this piece is this one. The instructions are in black and white. I wish they were in full color. It's unfortunately not the case. So sometimes you do have to squint a little bit to make out the details. Okay. So those hand gauntlet pieces plugged into these ball joints. It's a little bit of articulation because Tony Stark's wrists are going to plug into there. Then there are some additional gauntlet pieces that get plugged in, or right there for his forearms. Cool. And this is funky. So these are the handles, the suitcase handles, and they actually are, it looks like two separate pieces. If I can detach them. Maybe not. I gotta pull them out of this. There we go. So they do snap apart, and those plug into, gosh. Oh, these plug into the, oh, interesting. Okay, of course. These plug into the hands. Wow. Because that's the handle that Tony pulls that then deploys the whole suitcase. All right, let me get these wrist pieces back in. Mediocre modeler, yes, I can mess it up because I'm not, gluing this in place, but I don't want to snap anything. I confess, there have been times when, with like a wrist peg, I've sometimes the ball joint gets stuck inside like a hand piece, and you could warm it up to loosen it up, but I twisted it the wrong way and snapped an entire wrist peg inside a hand, which then is a pain to dig out. You almost ruin that, and you ruin the wrist peg. That's why they come with backups sometimes, or in most cases. But I don't want to damage any of this. Oh, okay. Do I have this right? Maybe I have the wrist gauntlets backwards. Are they labeled left? Ah, ha ha ha. There's a tiny L engraved in there. You can barely see it. It's out of focus. There it goes. It says L right there. So if I'm looking at here, that's got to be this one. I have the confidence now to press this in firmly. And this does say, yep, R, right hand. So plugging that in as well. Okay. It's not completely fitting in. Push it a little bit harder. Yeah, it's a little bit loose. There it goes. Whew. These do articulate a little bit. So I have hands out. Right, gloves plugged in. Great. And this whole thing now fits into the suitcase. You can see there's a two-prong connector right there. And hopefully it's just pressing it in. And it is. Nice. And now it says articulate the bottom a little bit. So this is kind of at an angle. Huh. That would be this side. Articulate this up a little bit. I think that's purely personal preference, not really necessary. All right, so this is the difference between, this piece right here is the difference between the standard edition and the deluxe edition of this figure, which is the suitcase. The standard edition does not come with the suitcase. And so this is by itself pretty complicated piece already, and display piece, and much bigger than I imagine it to be. Everything at 1/6 scale is always a little bigger than I imagine it to be. Okay, let me put away the instructions for that. Let's get Tony Stark out here. And let's see if we can get him in a pose to grip the suitcase armor and deploy it. So we're going to actually pop out his hands. We're going to use what makes the most sense, which are the hands with the open hands. And maybe the best way to do this is to connect those ahead of time, as you would like, a blaster or something. Always want to, I find it easier to connect them, put things into the hands before the hands are plugged in. There it goes. Wrap that around. We'll go for the full view here. He's going to be crouched a little bit, so his hands basically right there. Let's go. Can you just one knee down, both knee down? Let's see. Let's plug these hands in, and then we'll get his legs in place. Ooh. Okay, I'll leave that loose piece aside for now. Good little snap in place for the wrist joint. Same right there. Fantastic. Put that forearm guard back in place. And then see if I can get a natural-esque pose in here. So this is on the ground basically. Yeah, oh, the suit is a little restrictive. Oh. Wider stance might be necessary. Tilt head up. See how far I can get his ankle joints as well. So basically a little bit like that. A little tough to get the suitcase on the ground as well. Looking at it, bending down. And the knees a little bit more. Kind of like that. Get this piece in here. This is the kind of thing I've just spend time futzing with for, half an hour just for a pose. It's so hard to get something to look natural, realistic, work with both the limitations, but also the best parts of the detail of one of these figures. But yeah, I can see getting this one right was going to be a little bit tough. Can't do like a one knee down. That both knees need to be down. Bend in just a little bit. Straighten out the arms. Maybe the arms probably need to go further forward. And yeah, you almost kind of do need a second Tony Stark to really showcase all of this stuff. Some people who have the Mark V die-cast armor love putting this head sculpt on that. So mixing and matching the head sculpts, totally valid. So that's your phase one stance, right? He's in the racing suit, the track suit. The suitcase is deployed. He has Sen grabbing it, and then the whole thing gets suited up. All right, so we're gonna go from this to phase 2 and 3. We're gonna mid-suited up and then fully suited up, and see what that looks like. So I want to set the suitcase aside. We're gonna unplug Tony's wrists right there. I think we will need those hands though. Get him back on the stand. museum pose, as they call it. You know what, for now, yeah, let's put them right back here for now. Museum pose. We're going to set aside, we're going to pull out these hand parts. We'll need those. And take a look at the chat, see if there are any questions as we get to this point. Nope. All right, we're going to continue on. Yeah, these pieces, I'm not super thrilled with those. They fit, but they are popping out pretty frequently. Like the fit is not perfect. And I do have them right. Left, no, that's right. Okay. They don't snap in place. It is just a pressure fit, but they are coming loose. So if I keep it just like this in itself becomes its own little display piece. So here you go. That is the very complex looking, it almost looks like a transformer. I mean, it is a transformer, right? It's a transforming suitcase armor, but it looks like a Michael Bay versus transformer design. Well, ILM VFX. So we're going to set this aside. All right, suitcase set aside. And now we're going to take a look at putting the other pieces of armor together. So I'm going to get my instructions and flip them around. And we're going to go with what they call the Style 1. So, Style 1. All right. Get Tony Stark back here. Send him down. Here goes the close-up. Oh, I do need to move. Why didn't it save? Let me move. Let me move the picture-in-picture a little bit, or move it. Let me move it back to the other side, actually. Ooh. It's not responding. There it goes. There it goes. Okay. There you go. Hi, Justin B. No problem. I'd be doing this live stream or not. I'd be opening this, and so it's nice to have people tagging along, asking questions, sharing it. You know, it does make it a little more stressful to do this live, but I think a little more fun, sharing the experience. Okay, so for the purpose of this, let's keep the head on. Sometimes if you're modifying, doing things to the body, you might not want to have damage that head sculpt, but we're going to keep it on unless I do need to remove it at some point. But let's take a look at what's necessary. So they say I need my back piece. So this is the back piece right here. And this goes over his shoulder, like so. All right. Brought to you by Dean asks, what is the pieces count? Oh my gosh, we have not done a full pieces count yet. Why don't we do that for you? So for the deluxe edition, which is the suitcase, I believe, was one big piece, which is a suitcase, a second big piece, two, there was this piece I attached on, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 pieces just for the suitcase. In this configuration, there were also these 2 plastic pieces that we didn't use for another suitcase configuration. So we'll call it 11 pieces devoted just to the suitcase. And then Tony Stark himself is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 hand pieces, 7, 8, 9, 10. If you include the feet and the head. So that's right, 1, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, all right. 10 pieces for Tony Stark. And then his armor pieces are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. 23 pieces just of various armor parts. Not all get used at the same time. So 23, 33, and 44 total pieces. More injection molds tooling than they, because like I said with the head, that looks like multiple pieces that were fused together for like the top hair piece, and but 44 individual pieces that come in this box. to answer that question. Oh, and not including the stand too. So you have the stand, right? So 1, 2, 3, if you include the stand, 47. We'll call it almost 50 pieces, right? All right, cool. So the back armor piece here has been placed in. They want me to plug into the back this small spine piece. So we'll do that. Slot it in and just pressed in. I don't know if you heard that. That clicked in right there. All right. And to the front now. Now the front we're going to use, this is the front armor piece, but it has two display methods. So we're going to pop off, I believe, this chest piece here, and it just kind of wiggles out free. Press fit. Is there a way? Oh gosh. Oh wow. Okay. I don't want to. Again, this is where I don't want to do any damage to this. Yeah, this does pop off. I know it does. The instruction manual says it does. There it goes. It's a little bit stressful. Okay, so that's actually two pieces right here. Pops off, and you can see actually that's a battery compartment for the arc reactor. The arc reactor, interesting. It articulates right there. Should we put the battery in? I'll leave it to the chat. Let me know. You guys decide, should we put the battery in and see how bright that is? Typically, I don't put the batteries in. Sometimes I accidentally leave them in. These type of cell batteries, if over time, if you leave them, like any batteries, if you leave them in the whatever you're lighting up or powering, they can corrode the contacts. But they're also they're a little bit finicky. So I typically don't put the lights in or light up the lights. It's a little bit of a pain, but let me know if you want me to light it up. I have the tools here to open up a compartment, put the batteries in, and we can light it up at the very end. Up to you. But we're going to plug in. Well, actually, speak now or forever hold your peace, because we are going to be covering up that battery compartment in just a second. Okay, no lights needed, says Phil Donahue. You're the newest member. It's your call tonight. So we're going to cover up that piece right here. It's this wide slot. Just a press fit, and then a bottom armor piece gets plugged in right there. All right, so as opposed to this, that's pretty good. And then on top of here, actually, is this piece. Interesting. So this has two prongs. You can see those black sticks that then, where do they plug into in this armor piece? Let's see, what do the instructions say? This is oriented correctly upward. It is. Do these articulate? Are those removed? Oh, these are removed as well. Okay. Yeah. Oh, there we go. This is what that would be. So when it's fully deployed, this gets popped out. So in its first stage, that piece actually covers up the arc reactor. Woo! All right, that's neat. That's neat. Neat. We are then, okay, good. We are going to actually connect the back chest armor pieces and the forward ones. So it's a little bit of flex here. And this casting, that goes around. Oh, this is so cool. This is cool. This is the reason this kit exists. Where you can see his racing suit, but also, this is cool. Okay, how easily do those pieces snap together. Let's see. It's not magnetic. There are 2 points of contact that I need to snap in. You can see these 2 holes right here. Those 2 holes. It's this piece. These we can see that and that right there. Okay. This is the nervous making part because it's not super easy to press those in. I have tweezers, but I don't want to get those out just yet. Oh, okay, no. And kind of has to be done this way on his body. Oh, come on. Oh, okay. I got one in. Got this side in. All right. And it has to be easy to remove as well. So I can see why they didn't go with magnets, but magnets would have been very satisfying and very Iron Man. Oops, sorry for blocking your view. Just need to pinch these 2 suit pieces together. There they go. Oh, it popped out. Worst case, we will leave them popped out just a little bit because I don't think it really affects the alignment. Move his shoulder back a little bit. There it goes. Whew. Okay. All right. So you got his front chest armor right there. Sorry, right there. Back chest armor right there. His shoulders. This does. They do articulate. Oh, cool. All right. His arm's gonna go out right here. He does have. Oh, he doesn't have anything on his feet. So this is just when. So right, that phase 1, he has. He had the suitcase, right? So the suitcase, his arm is plunged into the handle. He pulls it out, that deploys that suitcase into this crazy transformer looking thing. And then he pulls it to his chest. And that's that classic scene. He pulls it to his chest. And so that's what this pose is. He's going to pose it to his chest. So nothing on his feet just yet, and kind of unfolds out from his chest, which means we're going to start putting things on his hands and wrists. And he only has 1 set of Iron Man hands. For some of the other Iron Man figures where they're fully suited up, typically there are like 3 different sets of Iron Man hands. You get like a fist one, you have an articulated finger one, which is like this, and you also have one where the wrists are flared out, and that's typically the one where you can see the LED light pop through. But here, just the one. And the articulating fingers are important because he will need to hold on to the armor. And then we're going to also put on some wrist pieces. I'll show you these wrist pieces right here. This pops out. So that's for a more suited up version. And these clamp around his wrists. Oh, left and right. Are these that have indicators? Yep, L. Very important. And this says L as well. Great. And so those wrap around his wrists. Which side is the front? This side is the front. And that side is the front as well. Okay, so we're gonna clamp this around his arms there. So a little bit of a tight fit. How does this actually go together? Okay, I see there are 2 little slots in there. They do slot in. Okay. There's a little bit of a flaring out here on the sleeve, and that makes this part a little tougher. Do I pull this go over his sleeve? I guess it does go over his sleeve. I want to pull his sleeve up a little bit. It's a different look. Let's try it. Right side, sorry. Right here. This is right hand. Yep, right hand. Cool, we'll do that. We'll do that. Take a little bit of creative license. Right hand, right hand. Oh. Come on. This alignment. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to be smarter about this. I'm going to be smarter about this. And remove his hands first. Connect the two pieces. Connect the two pieces, I say. Right and right. Am I get this right? Did I have this wrong? What's wrong with this? What am I doing? What am I doing incorrectly? That's correct. That's correct. Okay. Oh my gosh. They're tiny. I bet I have this upside down. Something's not right. I'm not sure what it is. I mean, not want to do this. This piece. Oh, huh. Okay. There it goes. I just was looking at the wrong things to plug in. There it goes. All right. So I'm going to put this in here and then get the hand. Oh no, it popped out. The best laid plans. Let me try it again. Let me try it again. I apologize. It's taking a long time. There it goes. There it goes. There. Oh, that was a good snap. Those were good snapping sounds. Always looking for a good snap. I like a good snap fit. Boom. Whew. Let's do the same for the other side. All right. Pop this in. Trick is kind of like knowing where the alignment is. And it's just at the wrist. It's just at the top. It's supposed to be flush right there. Pull the sleeve up just a little bit for the purposes of this suit up. Get that glove in there. Ooh, whoop, 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 whoop. There it goes. Fantastic. All right. Let's get Tony out here. And so with this pose, he is grabbing elbows up, shoulders up. It's an important part. Twist the wrist a little bit. Get the fingers bent. Tuck those elbows in. See if I can curl the fingers around the piece that he's supposed to be grabbing. Always blows my mind how much articulation they can get in like the fingers, the finger joints. A little more resistance here on the thumb joint. Cool, cool, cool. I can pull the important part is pulling the shoulders up, I think. And that is for the camera here. Get him in focus. That is what they call the style 1 of the pose. And we'll go for a wide shot. So that is style 1 right there. That's pretty cool by itself. I mean, it shows definitely more of the racing suit and the contrast between. I understand now, I guess, why they chose a more matte finish for the racing suit, because that's a matte blue and contrast with this really nice, automotive style uh, red, candy red finish of the armor. That is also a really nice contrast, and then it really accentuates the head sculpt and a little bit of blood right there. That's pretty cool. But we're gonna go full suit up. Okay, so I think thankfully we don't have too much to need to modify, um, but let's get him back down. Any questions you guys have in the chat about this pose? Anything you want to see particularly? I think I could curl maybe the shoulders better over, because the shoulders do have a yeah, the shoulders are probably supposed to be a little bit more like that, right? Yeah, here's the back. As you can see, it's that little plug right there. Pretty good. These plates have some articulation too. That's like a nice museum pose. I know a lot of people get stressed out when they have these characters in like extreme stretched out poses with bent arms, especially if they're using like a seamless body and it's not a jointed body. Over time, they're worried about damage. I don't worry about that. These are meant to be posed. These are meant to be photographed. They're meant to be played with, I think. So I don't like just the resting museum pose in a display case. I like having something that's more characteristic of what the character looked like in the film, or how I want to see him in my head. Yeah. So this, I think, looks, yes, I agree. Mediocre modeler looks better than the briefcase. Okay, we're gonna now go with the third, or the signature pose, style pose 2. Style pose 2. So we're going to start by loosening up his hands right there. All right. And we're going to swap out that back piece. So remember, the back piece was this one end cap for the spine. That gets removed. We'll set that aside. And then in its place is now this piece, which also has the hip pieces. So that gets slotted in there, and just a press fit. Hopefully this is something that can be done without removing the entire back plate. Yeah, there it goes. I heard that snap. That's a good snap. There are bad snaps and good snaps. That's a good snap. Okay, so wraps around. I'm gonna do a little bit of adjustment, I think. Oh, ooh. No. It snapped out of place. There it goes. Good snaps. Good snaps. All right. So that's the back right there. Yeah, a little bit of distance from his pants. And then the front, let's see if he can still sit relatively still. We're going to get you in focus there, Tony, so the people out in the world can see. We are going to remove the pieces that we initially placed in. So that's going to be this red piece right here. That gets removed. This battery compartment piece. Here's a chance, last chance, folks. Do we want to see the battery installed? Do we want to see the arc reactor lit up? This piece gets removed. We'll take a little bit of a look of the internal detail. Ooh, there it goes. Give you a little bit of focus on that. That's the chest armor detail. Has some little bits of gold paint as well, gold contacts. Joshua Riva says, "You gotta light it up. You gotta." I'm coming around. I don't think it's going to be as satisfying if we don't light it up at the very end. So let's get Tony. All right, let's get the screwdriver out and see what we can do about that. That's going to be our, yeah, right there. Got my handy iFixit screwdriver. Remove this. Did this set not come with a tiny screwdriver? It did not. Ooh. Good to know. The batteries, so you got 8 batteries here. 2 of them, I believe, go right here. Yeah, makes sense. 2 go here, 2 go in each of the arms. We're just going to pop out the 2. These are LR621 cell batteries. There are ways to light up these characters without using cell batteries. You can get they're a third-party company makes something called what they call an arc reactor, but basically it's a way to plug it into shore power and with the right voltage. But that does require extra wires coming out of all these ports. So it works, I think, for certain looks, but for this one, we'll do the battery today and I'll pop it out after the stream. Oh, I like that the batteries don't have to be side to side because that's always a pain. These batteries just sit in flush like that. There goes 1. There goes 2. My battery cover is back on. Oop, oop, oop. Oh no! Let me hold him. Make sure I don't add too much pressure to the back armor. Oh, why is it not sitting flush? Are these the wrong batteries? They are the wrong batteries. They're not 8 same batteries. There are smaller batteries. These are the smaller ones. These are, oh gosh, they're so small. L5. Oh my gosh, I can't even see them. They're in the instruction manual. These are LR521. 621, slightly larger. These are the 521 batteries. Oh my goodness. Oh, okay. 10-minute detour for batteries. I hope it'll be worth it. We're not going to light up the hands though. We'll just do the arc reactor. That's the compromise. So new tested member Phil Donahue still has most of his say. Okay, all right. There it goes. That's what fits in much better. Catch. Yep. We're going to light it up. Should we light it up now? Wait till the end? Let's wait till the end. Let's wait till the end. All right. So those 2 pieces popped out. This chess piece pops out. We're going to pop these chess pieces back on. One, 2. Great. And then there's also now this piece that goes back on, the Abe piece. And that plugs in to 3 places. Nice, good fit. Now, do these connect? They do connect a little bit, yeah? Do these articulate at all? Oh, they do. Oh, look at that. I forgot to fold this out. Aha! Wow, look at that. Okay, cool. So these fold out. Pop that back piece back in. Oh my gosh. Here are the 2 good snaps. One. Oh, I can lift up these flaps a little bit too. Oh, that's neat. There it goes. Yeah, so there's a little bit of flap action right here. Just everything to create some dimensionality, some separation. I like that. And then we're gonna connect uh, the hip piece for it's kind of his belt, I guess you would call it. It wraps around his waist. This is a little bit nerve-wracking. There. Oh. Maybe it's better to connect this on the bottom, on the hip first, and then that top chest piece. I think that's right. I think that makes the most sense. Things are disconnecting. It's ended up being a little tighter fit than I imagine. It's a little snug. Yeah, the back kind of presses against the suit. Okay. Oh. All right, I'm going to connect this hip piece first because I think that's going to be more difficult to do. Yeah, they're doing some physics bending here. This is definitely bigger than what would fit in a suitcase. It's a transformer, right? Gosh, wow. I can see where that joint is supposed to connect, and it is a very tight fit. Oh gosh. That's a good snap. Good snap. Did you hear it? Okay, all right. I'm gonna get the chest piece back in. Great. And then the back piece needs to get pulled up just a little bit and have that snap in as well. There it goes. Okay. That's the upper torso. Now let's fix his arms because his arms are a little bit different. Oh yeah, he has 4 as a. Let me pop his hands off. So we're gonna do this the same way we did this last time. And pop those off. Both sides. Come on. And these actually get swapped out now. These little internal cuffs get swapped out for longer forearm pieces. So this is the right side, and that is the right side. And there it goes. And so that does kind of fit over his right there. Is that right? Yeah. Ooh, that's cool. That's really cool. And then he has internal um, bicep armor as well. Gotta make sure the right fits with the right side. I believe this is the right side, but we'll unplug those. Should I have sleeved that in as well? Let's see. What side does this say? Left. So this is right. Okay. So let's try just running it up the sleeve. So far, so good. Move the shoulders up. Ooh, a little bit snug. Oh, rotate it. I think ideally, yeah, there it goes. Okay. They do separate, but for the purposes of this, not separating them. And we're going to try to do on this side as well. Just running up the sleeve does work. Just be very gentle. You don't want to stretch the undersuit too much. It's great right there. I gotta go plug that back in a little bit. Okay, and then we're gonna do the same with his forearms. Oh, maybe it's better just to clasp this around. Yeah, because that flaring out makes it a little more challenging. Gosh. There it goes. Nice. We'll plug. Oh, what do I grab? Because if I grab the armor pieces, they're a little loose. Pressure fit. There it goes. Oh, nice. Okay, other side. We have this piece. We have this cuff to remove. We're gonna place this right here and see if I can get that to snap in around the cuff. Yeah, okay, that was easy. And then we're going to plug in his gauntlet. There it goes. Felt that pressure fit. Fantastic. Getting there, getting there, getting there. Leg pieces. All right. So these forearm pieces keep on popping off. Okay. I know I'm not worrying about this right now, but I still want to make sure they're not just flying around the table. Okay. Leg pieces. So we got thigh pieces. We got shin pieces, and they are labeled right, left, right, left. Fantastic. And boots. So it looks like we do the boots first. And of course, he's going to be slotting these in and tucking it. Okay, I think these fold out just a little bit so you can see what's going on. So here's, do they articulate? No, not really. Huh. They don't articulate. Okay, so it's just a static covering. There are clip points, so the shoe snaps in. Pressure fits right there. Same with the left side. Pressure fits. Maintains a little bit of ankle movement. It's good. It's good. And then the thigh piece and the shin piece, they just kind of pop on. Really? Yeah, I guess they just kind of wrap around because they're okay. So they do flare out if I want, but the core of it, this internal structure, just clamps on. Guess I didn't know what to expect, but I don't want to, again, don't want to damage the suit underneath. Okay, that's wrapped around there. They do articulate and flare out a little bit, the red parts of it. And here is the right, yep. And that goes on top of that. Again, this just wraps around. Cool. Simple, simple, simple. All right, here goes the left shin piece. This pressure fits in there. And then left thigh piece. I'm gonna make sure I don't poke any of the armor underneath. All right. Yeah, you don't slide these up because they're really just like, they just literally clamp around with some pressure fitting. You can see in the back right there, there's nothing for it to slide into. I think sliding would actually bunch up the pants a little bit. So they literally just clamp in place. All right. And then, like I said, there is a little bit of articulation in that the red pieces here can pop out a little bit. I like that. Anything extra dimensionality, always a fan of. And I think that's it. Oh, the helmet. The last piece is the helmet. All right, let's tilt this camera up so you can see what's going on. Zoom in just a little bit. Get Tony in focus right there. Oh yeah, that's a good shot. Justin B asks, Norm, what do you think of the Hot Toys 89 Batmobile they revealed? Well, they announced I don't know if they revealed it as much as they announced it because it's a reissue, right? So they did the Hot Toys 89 Batmobile, or they did the Hot Toys 89 Batman reissue with new sculpt this last month, which I did pre-order as well because I missed out on the first run, and that is one of those grail pieces for me, not paying those secondary market prices. But the Batmobile, when that was initially released, it was well received by fans. A lot of people did criticize some of the dimensions. It wasn't as long as people maybe imagined. And the timing is interesting because there's also the officially licensed one from Jazz Inc. Yost and his team over in the Netherlands are doing their 89 Batmobile, which may be more, if they're doing whole new molds and they're designing that one from scratch, maybe dimensionally more accurate, but it's going to be at a premium. So, who knows when those will ship? But I've been following both of those very carefully and a very big fan of the Jazz Inc. dioramas. Isabella says pre-ordered both of them. Also missed out on the version 1. Yeah, I'm more excited about the Keaton Batman, obviously with the Flash coming out. Love the suit. I love the sculptural chest armor of the first suit more than Batman Returns. I know some people love the Batman Returns armor a lot more. I actually like the original Batman. I think the way it was filmed, the way it was shot, the cinematographer for the 89 Batman, like lit Batman almost like Morticia in Addams Family, with that just that little beam of light right across the eyes, those flag lights they would have, those barn doors, whatever they used to just cast the light just on the eyes, and you'd emerge, and there was a nice like I know it was rubber, but there was a nice tactile element. It didn't look as smooth as the later armors. I love that kind of, it almost looked like it was more of a gargoyle. So bigger fan of that. It sounds like they fixed some of the issues with that head sculpt. It still has the movable eyes, but the back plate from the first head sculpt is gone from the new pictures. So that's an upgrade. So very excited about the figure. Batmobile, I don't know yet because it's one, I don't have the space. I have a Jazz Inc. 1966 Batmobile that I just got in. So that's taking a lot of space. I have a DeLorean here about years ago. I have the Tumbler. I don't have the space for 89, but who knows? I might end up picking up on that. Roger Pratt was the DP of Batman 89. Yes, such good work. Such good work. The seed in Axis Chemicals, when he emerges from the fog, that's the best Batman on screen. I think. I mean, I think even better than the Zack Snyder Batman. I love how dark and gothic that looked. And for a suit that up close in real life does not look good. I mean, foam latex deteriorated to hell. You actually only have like it's like spandex on the sides, only sculpted in the abs part. But the way they draped the cape and the way the cowl was on, all that just looks so good. So good. Okay, sorry. We're gonna continue with Iron Man. There he goes. There he goes. And this helmet piece, you can see right here. We are going to separate the two pieces. Where do they separate? Just in the front. Okay, right there. And we'll make sure everyone can see it. So this goes here. This wraps around the back. Show you the inside so you know that there's some foam padding on the inside. So the contact points where the helmet touches the face sculpt won't get damaged. I know for some people, some other helmeted characters like Luke Skywalker, for example, people were freaking out because of how the helmet grazed the sculpts, and the sculpts are probably the most valuable part of these things. So definitely don't want to do any damage to them. Now, is this best done with the head removed? That's a really good question I'm asking myself. Probably, but no, okay, I can cup that around. All right. Oh, that's cool. And then we're going to plug this in and hopefully hear a good snap. Looking for those good snaps. Always looking for the good snaps. Not hearing it just yet. There. Oh, there goes one. And it's held in place. Let me see. There it goes. Fantastic. Does he have any head articulation? He still has head articulation. Oh, look at that. That's cool. Look at that. With the figures that don't have the movable eyes, they always go with a neutral expression, looking forward. And one of the ways you can make it look more realistic is just have him looking down. Just looking down a little bit. He doesn't get too much articulation looking down. Okay. But that's it. No other parts of the instruction manual? Yeah. All right. Shall we light him up? We shall. Let me pop open this armor piece a little bit. This part pops off, I believe. No, the whole thing pops off, right? Oh, that's annoying. So when I want to turn the lights on, I have to remove this entire front chest piece, and that may detach some of the other pieces. I'm going to do it now just to show what it looks like for camera risk. Ooh, okay, a little bit of flex, and I can reach in and illuminate him. So arc reactor lit up. Interesting that there is this articulation here as well, but doesn't really. Yeah, we'll keep it. It's a little wide open like that. Nice and bright for camera. And we will adjust the shoulders a little bit. Yeah, why not more like more? No, no, this is better. This is better. Lift the arms up, fold the arms out, straighten that back up. Aziz light, and we will zoom out a little bit so everyone can see the figure. Is this a Sony camera? No. Using two separate cameras here. This wide cam here is a Panasonic Lumix S5, the version 1 that came out a couple of years ago. Bought it at the end of 2021. I want to say the Lumix Panasonic S5 Mark II just released. Looks like it's a fantastic upgrade. Engadget said it's the best vlogging camera. They basically changed the autofocus abilities and now have phase detect autofocus. So the autofocus on this camera, not so great, not necessarily great for taking on the road, but the great for studio cam. But the S5 Mark II looks to be really, really good. And there's I think, a even better version, Mark S2 something that has better pro features. And then that one is a GH5, a Panasonic Lumix GH5. So both Panasonic cameras, micro four thirds, and full frame camera right there. All right, so we got Tony Stark in his Mark V suit up armor. That looks so cool. So cool. Let's see if I can tilt him down a little bit. Let's loosen this up. I have him on a sun. There it goes. There it goes. Kind of appropriate to have the iFixit toolkit in the background. The blue light I have in the back also catching very nicely on this centerpiece right there. All right, we'll turn him around. I see. You don't need the stand. The stand's fine, but no stand for me. I think these things look so much better when they're just on their own right there. Classic arms out, suited up, lit up. The extra accessory, don't think it's necessary because that pose was a little tough to get into. This is a cool accessory, but I don't see myself ever using it for a pose. I think the articulation is a little bit too rough to get this in a nice way, a natural looking pose, and this just looks way too cool. So the standard collector's edition, I think, would be the way to go. This will live on the shelf next to it, though, and there you have Tony Stark, Iron Man, Mark V. Is there another pose that they suggest that they? I think I saw in the instruction manual. Yeah. Okay. We can do also another like bend the arm and like as well. Yeah. All that feels very, very Tony Stark. Nah. I like the arms out gantry look. That's the coolest look right there. All right. That does it for the live stream. Thank you so much, Tested members, for joining me this evening, hanging out while I fumble around and put together and unbox and put together this Hot Toys figure. We didn't get to talk about too many movies, but I did get to have fun. We talked about Batman 1989, answered some tech questions. We're doing more live streams in the coming weeks. Speaking of Batman 89, I do have a Bandai Batman 1989 Batmobile model kit. I might do that in the next couple of weeks as a live stream as well. That might be fun to put together. So we'll do our best to pre-announce these. Also, if you're a member in our community channel, check those posts. If you're a new member, check our community page for behind-the-scenes photos, sneak peeks at upcoming videos, and also we have long-running behind the scenes videos and extended cuts. So we have Adam in real time. So for most of our 1-day builds, we also have extended sequences that we cut out of the published YouTube video. So you can check those out if you're a member as well. But that does it for this evening. Mediocre Modeler says, I just got to scratch build a 1/6 scale Formula One race car. No, I will not do that. But I might look for a 1/6 scale Formula One race car that I can maybe take through a bandsaw and kind of make it look like Whiplash is cut through it. Maybe that's cool. That might be something to do. Thank you, new members. Thank you, everyone, for watching. We'll have more videos in the coming days and weeks, of course, on the site. Thanks for hanging out, and I will see you all next time. Have a wonderful evening and rest of your weekend. Good night.